tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Wednesday, middle of the week, good old hump day. This is the day when we're like, yay, 2 more days to Friday, right? Well, for most of us. Weekend's pretty much the same for me as any other day. All right, wrong button, Dion. All right. What am I doing? Okay. That's what I'm doing. I'm sorry. I'm still... This stuff doesn't just go away. So, hi, Michelle. Good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah. It's a nice day out in Colorado. We get mostly sunny weather here. It's not as cold as people. It's not as well. It can be. The fuck am I talking about? Today we're going to be talking about step 7 from the 12 by 12. I'm finding it more and more important. Oh, well, it didn't show up. So, hello. No, I said hello. You're just trying to make me do that. No, I said hello. Funny, I can do like half the movie. I can't remember the name of it right now. Labyrinth? It's one of those. I know the whole scene. 7th step. I was sitting here thinking, thinking what I should do for the Daily Trudge, and a lot of things pop into my head, but what the right thing is sometimes it takes a little while. Can't always rely on the readings. So, but having a reading while doing this is a good one. Good day. Did I do introductions? I did not. Let's do them. Welcome to Daily Trudge. My name is Dion. They've let me keep this all month. That was nice of them. If you're here, please say hello, whether you're watching the live or the rewatch. And we're going to pull out the 12 by 12 today. I know where it's at because it just dropped on the floor. So, this is our 12 by 12. This book, okay, I understand that we love our big book, but this book is just as important as the big book. Almost as important as the big book, right? So, I use it quite often. People get confused around step 6 and step 7 because there's not much in the big book about it. I think between 6 and 7, I think there's 3 or 4 paragraphs. So I like using this. What I do not like using is this. I found this book to be a waste of time, and I'm glad I didn't spend money on it. Okay? It's a self-help book. And I'm sorry, we don't do self-help books. We do this stuff together. Okay? That doesn't mean don't read self-help books. That doesn't mean don't improve. It means we do this together. And when we don't do this together, then it's not the program. Does that make sense? If we don't do this together, it's not AA. It's not the 12 steps. It's not God. See, there's a key there. There's requirements to some of these things that we do. So, step 7, humbly ask Him to remove our shortcomings. It is pretty straightforward what we're going to be doing here. Although it can feel weird. Hi, Gary. Okay. Even pictures are running together. Gary's wasn't there. So, okay. I don't know. All right. Since this step so specifically concerns itself with humility, we should pause here to consider what humility is and what the practice of it can mean to us. The principle behind step 7 is humility. What is humility? Asking God for help. That's it. But we need a whole chapter on how to do it, so let's figure it out. Indeed, the attainment of greater humility is the foundation principle of each AA's 12 steps. For without it, some degree of humility, no alcoholic could stay sober at all. Okay, even two-steppers have some form of humility. Okay, which allows them to stay sober for quite some time. That unless they develop much more of the precious quality than they may be required just for sobriety, they still haven't much of a chance of becoming truly happy. And there's the key. There's the key. Without it, we cannot live much of a useful purpose or in adversity be able to summon the faith that can meet any emergency. Humility as a word and as an ideal has a very bad time of it in our world. Not only is the idea misunderstood, the word itself is often intensely disliked. Okay. Sometimes do words make it easier for us to be able to see things and blah, blah, blah? Yes. But let's stop run around saying, instead of recovery, can we say this? Can we say that? Can we say this? No, we are not here to appease. We are not here to change our language in order to fucking appease you. You're going to have to deal with the language. It is part of the process. It is part of the conformity. I know it sucks that you don't get to use your little buzzwords and everything else. I'm going to tell you something. Nobody fucking understands you. Stop writing in cryptic. Stop writing in millennial. Stop writing in Gen Z. Nobody gives a fuck. And in 5 years, you ain't going to be talking like that anyway. Stop it. Sorry. Many people haven't even a nodding of the acquaintance with humility as a way of life. Much of the everyday talk we hear and a great deal of what we read highlights man's pride in his own achievements. With great intelligence, man of science have been forcing nature to disclose her secrets. The immense resource now being harnessed promise such a quantity of material blessings that many have come to believe that the man-made millennium lies just ahead. Poverty will disappear, and there will be such an abundance that everybody can have all the security and personal satisfaction he desires. It didn't happen, did it? In fact, it's worse. Of course it's worse. There's more people in the world. When you add more, the only thing that it can be is more. Right? So even now, with all the abundance in the world, we still have people starving on the street. We still have people living on the street. There is certainly not material equality out there in this world. Absolutely not. Okay? So we can see right there that the instinctual drives of man are incorrect. Have all the security and personal satisfaction he desires. You know, that sounds like utopia, and that doesn't exist here. The theory seems to be that once everybody's primary instincts are satisfied, there won't be left much to quarrel about. You watch. The world will then turn happy and be free to concentrate on culture and character. Solely by their own intelligence and labor, men will have shaped their own destiny. Didn't work. They're still trying to do it. Still trying to do it. All right. Certainly no alcoholic and surely no member of AA wants to depreciate material achievement. No. Look at my nice car. That's not, I really don't care. I'm happy for you. I'm glad that you got what you wanted. I am. I'm truly happy for you. I'm not jealous. I just don't care. I don't. I care about your material achievement. Okay. I'm not going to depreciate it, but I ain't going to sit around and talk about it either. Nor do we enter into debate with many who still passionately cling to the belief that to suffice our basic natural desires is the main object of life. But we are sure that no class of people in the world ever made a worse mess of trying to live by this formula than alcoholics. That's true. We make a mess of it. Men already mess it up. Then bring an alcoholic in his cups with no God and watch what happens. Then it becomes dangerous. Then it starts to kill people. Instinctual drives. How much is a human life worth? For thousands of years, we've been demanding more than our share of security, prestige, and romance. When we seem to be succeeding, we drank to dream still greater dreams. When we were frustrated, even in part, we drank for oblivion. Never was there enough of what we thought we wanted. Never is. What are we talking about here? We're talking about instant gratification. This world lives in instant gratification. Okay. I like to call this era the microwave age because we want everything on instant minute. We want it now. What are you talking about? I can't have it now. The first time I downloaded a picture, it took me a day and a half. Okay. Now we get them instantly. Okay. We're the more that we rely upon other things, the more we will be unreliable. Yeah. See, when I talk about that, it's easy to hide behind your camera in a Zoom meeting, not take accountability. You're never going to get well. You're never going to get well. Until somebody comes along and says something to you, you're going to continue doing it, thinking you're doing the right thing. Therefore, the people that we let keep their cameras off, we are doing a disservice to, I feel. Yeah. But see how it felt like there was never enough? You could never fill that big old hole in your tummy. That big old hole. Sometimes it's still there, ain't it? Mine's been there. Been there for a couple days. In all these strivings, so many of them well-intentioned. I'm so tired of well-intentioned people just trying to look good. I am. I'm tired of it. And our crippling handicap had been our lack of humility. Our lack of humility. There it is. Imagine if I came on here and did all this, but I did it this way. How would you guys like that? Would you be okay with that? Would you be okay just staring at a blank screen? No, you'd rather see my messy fucking hair. You'd rather see that I haven't shaved. Actually, I did shave the other day. Right? And you can see all that. I don't care, man. If you can't accept me for who I am, then you ain't my people. Right? We had lacked the perspective to see that character building and spiritual values had to come first, and that material satisfactions were not the purpose of living. Quite characteristically, we had gone all out and confusing the ends with the means. Instead of regarding the satisfaction of our material desires as the means by which we could live and function as human beings, we had taken these satisfactions to be the final end and aim of life. No. It doesn't, I will not wrest any satisfaction out of anything material. It just won't happen for me. Okay. Are there some things that I want? Yeah, I wanted a PS5. Things like that, but I don't really ask for much. I'll ask for a PS5 before I ask for a pair of shoes. All right. So I'm still a little, right. But these weren't the end aims of life, man. They just weren't. we had to understand that character building and spiritual values is what shows us, is what means something. Okay. It's kind of like, okay, I've been hearing this a lot again because going back around, I may be an alcoholic, but it's not who I am. Yes, 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 you are. When a person has multiple sclerosis, what do you fucking see? Okay. Stop being ashamed of your mental illness. Stop being ashamed. Okay. Because that's what that is. We're not going to change our words to suit. That's not how life works. Okay. Asking, that is so far from emotional recovery. What you're saying is, I cannot recover. I am going to make demands. I'm going to make excuses. And that's all that is to not recover. That's all that is. I saw a person earlier that said, how do you get past the stigma of others about taking medications for things that I have? And I said, why are you letting others determine who you are? Don't do that. You're better than that, my friend. Go to a meeting, trust in God, and be a good example. I do it too, and you can also. See, that person didn't need to be alone, but nobody in that group knew how to answer it because it's just a mutual admiration society. Okay. True, most of us thought good character was desirable, but obviously good character was something one needed to get on with business and being self-satisfied. With proper display of honesty and morality, we didn't stand a better chance of getting what we really wanted. But whenever we had to choose between character and comfort, character building was lost in the dust of our chase for what we thought was happiness. I don't look for happiness. I'm not even looking to be happy right now. I know that I understand that happiness is a dividend. I know that. I understand that. Okay. So therefore, it's not the goal. The goal is, what am I going to do today that's going to create that happiness? What am I going to do today that's going to create that? Seldom did we look at character building as something desirable itself, something we would like to strive for, whether our instinctual needs were met or not. We never thought of making honesty, tolerance, and true love of man and the God of the daily basis of living. That's why I come on here every single day. You get to see who I am. You get to see what's going on. You can tell I'm not in the best mood today. I'm doing the best that I can. Okay. You can tell that. I ain't hiding it. There's nothing to hide. Okay. I get to be who I am. If I don't get that, man, I'm fucked. So, all right. I'm going to go to the last part so we can kind of finish this up. As we approach the actual taking of step 7, it might be well if we AAs inquire once more just what our deeper objectives are. Each of us would like to live at peace with himself and with his fellows. We would like to be assured that the grace of God can do for us what we cannot do for ourselves. We can see that character defects based upon short-sighted or unworthy desires are the obstacles that block our path from these objectives. We now clearly see that we have been making unreasonable demands upon ourselves, upon others, and upon God. Does all this sound very familiar to last night's 5:30 meeting? Okay, steps 6 and 7. Okay, if they're still not hitting for you, go read The Last Frontier by Bill W. I'll even sit down and go over it with you. In fact, maybe we'll do that this afternoon. I don't know. Okay. And here it comes. The chief activator of our defects have been self-centered fear. That's where my PTSD comes from. This is self-centered fear. Fear that nobody's going to like me. I'm telling you. Okay, primarily fear that we would lose something we already possess or would fail to get something we demanded. Living on a basis of unsatisfied demands, we were in a continual state of disturbance and frustration. Therefore, no peace was to be had unless we could find a means of reducing these demands. The difference between a demand and a simple request is plain to anyone. The seventh step is where we make the change in our attitude, which permits us, with humility as our guide, to move out from ourselves and towards others and towards God. Okay. Step 6 was about perfection. Okay. It wasn't about becoming perfect, it was about understanding that there is perfection out there and that it is okay to move towards that perfection. Okay. I will reach that perfection the day that I die. Okay. That's when I become perfect. That's when I become God's angel. And then the real job starts. I don't know. I don't know. But I know from there things will be perfect. And if I'm wrong, I won't know any better, so it doesn't matter. It's the way I see it. So step 7 is understanding that I have a certain adoption of attitudes. Okay. Even though I go through these things that I have for close to a week now. Well, today's Wednesday. That would make it a week. I think that's enough, isn't it? Isn't a week enough? I think it is. I think a week is enough. Okay. You see what I'm doing here? Okay. I'm creating an internal boundary. What I'm saying to myself is, Dion, a week is enough suffering. It's enough. I realize a week had passed. Okay. It's a lot like alcoholism. Time. Boom, bing, 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 ding, ding, dong. I mean, it's kind of weird. So the whole emphasis on step 7 is on humility. It is really saying to us that we now ought to be willing. Man, we're just now doing willing to try humility. Throw as much humility, throw it all in there. Look how far you've come. Just toss it all in there, man. There's nothing to lose and everything to gain at this point. If that degree of trying humility and seeking the removal of our other shortcomings, just as we did when we admitted we were powerless over alcohol and came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. If that degree of humility could enable us to find grace by which a deadly obsession could be banished, then there must be hope of the same result respecting any other problem we could possibly have. It's true. I know it sounds like it doesn't, but it does. And there may be times when you have to go beyond what it is that they're asking. Bill W. went beyond. You bet. There's always more to learn. And the more you know about this, like last night, we were talking about, I don't know how the topic came up, but I was talking about how people in the United States, we're lucky. We're lucky because in a lot of countries, AA is still a secret society, man. AA is a secret society. You can get thrown in jail. All sorts of things can happen. You get called an AA meeting. Okay. Well, that came back to, the way that you used to, because AA used to be a secret society. We did. A lot of fear. And the only way you got in is if you had a sponsor. If somebody brought you in as a sponsor, didn't matter your money, didn't matter this, didn't matter that. That's why we had a 75% success rate in the beginning, because people were being cherry picked. Okay? We got to look at this the right way. They'll even tell you they did that. And then they will tell you that they were wrong to do it. That's how sponsorship started. That's where the word came from. In the book, it's called Closed Mouth Friend. Doesn't matter. There's still words. Get a sponsor. All right. Love you. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I appreciate it. Peace out and have a day.